We are a little bit late, but we're here. Welcome everybody to our what is this? Like an info session, why we are so good and so great and why you should join. My name is Julia. This is my pronoun is she, her, and I'm here with
Hi, I'm Allie. My pronouns are she, her. I'm here in Cincinnati and I'm a software engineer.
yes, I should say I'm in Toronto, Canada. It's hard for me to remember that now I live in Toronto. I used to live in Vancouver. But I'm so excited that now the two of us are in the same time zone, so I don't have to think too much about where are you, where I am.
Yes.
But yes, let's talk about what we're here for. So all of you are joining because you want to build a skill, get confidence in a real experience with a tech squad. Um, what are the things that we're going to talk about? So, what is Cherry and Tech? What is a tech squad? Why do we focus so much in underrepresented genders? What we've been doing so good so far for Cherry and Tech? We're going to share a little bit about the products, projects that the tech squad have worked in the past, and how to join. And we're going to be asking questions back and forward. But important, if you want to ask some questions, if you're in LinkedIn or if you're in YouTube, make sure that you put them on the comments. We're going to be able to see them and we're going to be able to answer them. So to start, we wanted to start with land acknowledgements. We want to take a moment to honor and acknowledge that many of us are joined to many today from the traditional ancestral lands of Indigenous people across what is now known as Canada and the United States. We recognize their deeper connection to the land and we commit to learning from with Indigenous communities as we work towards justice, equity, and reconciliation. So, what is Cherion Tech? So, we are a Canadian registered nonprofit run entirely by volunteers. And our mission is support underrepresented genders of women, non binary, and trans folk into tech, but helping people join in a tech squad. And they build real hands on experience the industry keep asking for. So, again, we are 100% volunteer run. Ali and me and every volunteer, we do have jobs outside of this. um, and we are going to talk today more about the Launchpad program that is a 15-week cohort where we guide them through real tasks in how to get from zero to a real project. And the most important and the most cool about us, this is a free program. You don't have to pay for any of this. Ali. Oh,
You can
yeah.
hear me? Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So I'm just going to talk quickly about our program that we have coming up in the fall. So this is a 15-week journey, we like to say, and we are getting together multiple squads to go through a cohort together where you're going to be in your own squads. We play a bit of a matchmaker to get you connected, and in your first few weeks, you'll go through all the steps early in a project, like prototyping and discovery and research and creating lo-fi prototypes and user maps and all those kinds of things, just like you do in a professional environment. And then from there, you'll start building and you'll be working cross-functionally with your squad to work in sprints and the same way that we do it in the real world. We always say that the projects you're building are real, and you're just building them for yourselves, which is maybe even cooler. So then throughout the sprint weeks, you'll have different kind of agile processes like sprint reviews and sprint planning and all that stuff. And then you'll have a final presentation to show off your work and celebrate with all of the other squads. And we'll be getting together weekly with all the squads to bring in speakers and learn from each other and see what everybody's up to. After that, this is just the beginning. So we hope that you continue to work with your squads, or we can get you connected with a new squad in our community. But Cherry on Tech exists as this community where we hope you can find a squad that can continue to support you in your career.
Love it. So some of the dates, and I feel like this is why everybody's here because you want to know when is this going to happen. So again, today, July Friday 24, we are opening registration. So if you see this QR code, please scan it and you can register. Like registration are open and we are going to close it. Oh, I didn't change the date. This is a lie. We are not closing registrations on July 31st. We're closing it in August 7th. But as we always say, if we get to the numbers that we need to create the squads, we will close it earlier. This is first come, first serve kind of idea. So make sure that you register. When the cohort is going to happen. So it's going to start in August 30th and it's going to go until December 9th. So 15 weeks. I'm going to leave this here as a moment. I do have the link, but I have it on the presentation deck. I'm going to share it on the comments, but take a photo. Okay, what is a text squad?
Yeah, so like I was saying, this cherry on text about the cross-functional experience. So in our cohort program, we're putting you together. We have 2 product managers, 2 UX designers, 3 developers, and we have UX writers that may work with multiple squads that specialize that offer some specialization for your websites and what you'll be doing as a squad, besides building this website together, is you're really there to support each other and help each other learn and level up in your careers and whatever it is that you're currently interested in or whatever level you're currently at. This squad, unlike a professional work environment, is there to help you grow, and the things you don't know, that's like we want to share those with each other. And we have, outside of your own squad, there's a community of squads, so there's a lot of opportunity to share your knowledge with other squads too. So we're all here to support each other and work towards building real working software that we can show off. That's the beauty of working with the tech squad, is it's not just you. If you're a designer, you're not just making a design and then you can have somebody actually build it, and you're not just a developer trying to build something that looks okay. You can actually build a real design, and those are all skills that you need to know when working professionally. So we really think the squad is like the foundation of being able to level up in your career.
Okay, so why are we focusing on the represented genders? So I feel like something that we haven't mentioned that is really cool, that is absolutely everybody on Cherry on Tech is underrepresented gender. So women, non-binary, and trans folks, from the participants, from the mentors, from the volunteers. That is a really hard space to find in the real world, like outside of Cherry Tech. That's really hard to find. So we love that we can provide a space like this. What do we do this? So 28% of the global tech force is women. And as we know, we are 40% of the overall labor force. So our representation in tech is minimum. 28 to 21. So 28 trans folks and 21% of women and non-binary people. Several times they're unemployed in US. I'm blocking my view here. Hold on. Okay, I'm going to read in the other side. Sorry that I'm not looking at you. 41% of trans people report being denied of a job, specifically because they were transgender. 50% of the women leave the tech industry before of age 35. And for every 100 men promoted to manager, only 93 women are. So women fall behind starting at the being chosen to be a manager. And I would say that that's some of the factors why we do Cherry Tech for underrepresented genders. One of our Cherry and Tech wins so far. So we have had 4 cohorts so far. So this one, fall 2026, is going to be our 5th cohort. We have helped, or we have put together 20 squads. We have done 20 live product ships, and we have helped more than 160 people during the fourth cohort. So that's insane to say. Um, I wanted to show you something different today, and I will please ask everybody to go over to our YouTube channel if you want to learn a little more about what the squad have built in the past. These are some of the examples, but we have Mission Collective, so it's a gamified workplace platform built in belonging and inclusion connection for teams. This was built by Rainbow Sugar Star Squad, and the pretty cool thing is, like Ali was mentioning at the beginning, we gave them a problem space. These problem spaces are based on us. So it's really close to our hearts when we choose these problem spaces. So when a squad choose a problem space, is something that they are related to, that they can feel close to it. What was the problem for Mission Collective? Subtle bias and exclusion quietly wear down diverse team, hurting well-being, engagement, and retention, especially for women and other underrepresented groups. One of the key features that they created, so a mission hub with gamified trivia and challenges, team and company level progress tracking, partial credit for participation, reducing fear of getting it wrong, educational resources embedded in every mission, and nudges and reward stays and credit participation. I'm always surprised when people or squad present their projects at the end. It's like, when did you have to do all of this? Like, it's make me think about like my projects at work, how long that we take to do so many things, and they create all of these features in 15 weeks. And again, we have to remember that all participants, they have a full-time life outside of the cohort. Yes, so this is not like their full-time job that they're doing during 15 weeks. They have jobs, they have families, they have whole thing that is going on. Our next project is Haley, a community-driven platform tracking burnout among women in tech. So the problem space that they chose is 40% more women that may leave tech at the age of 35, often driven by burnout, lack of support, and insulation. The key features of Haley: small, achievable well-being challenges, daily journaling with guide prompts, anonymous community sharing for reflection and support, and accessible and inclusive design. Next one is All Roads, a career planning platform helping professionals navigate and clear path and pay transparency gaps. The problem: unclear career progression and limited pay transparency leave professionals in tech and beyond unsure how to plan their next move. Their key feature: career roadmap, personalized dashboard based on role, career stage, and skills, milestone and task tracking to support growth, local data storage to protect user privacy. And I feel like a lot of people that maybe are joining us right now and listening to this is like, oh my goodness, this will be so useful for me and my career, because as I'm reading all of this, is like, this will be so helpful for me right now. Blossom with us, a guided journey to help people overcome imposter syndrome and unlock their potential. Key feature: guide journey structure to reflect self doubt, tool to help users recognize and own their achievements, and support and encouraging product voice throughout. If you want to know more about the type of projects that you could build if you are part of our fall 2026 cohort, again, go to our YouTube channel and you can see all of the presentations. So this is a cool thing too. You can see how they have present their work at the end of the cohort. And it's really nice because they do it. We give them a time limit that I am really cutting off. It's like, you need to stop talking. They get so good at presenting. We do have a sprint review at the end of the sprint too, so they get to practice and we will give them feedback. So when they get to the stage of the final pitch, they will have a better understanding of how to improve what they've been talking about. Uh, Now we're going to be answering some questions, but again, You can start registering right now for our fall 2026. I already added the link for registration here, or you can just use the QR code. Okay, I'm going to give everybody a couple of seconds. Ali, if you want to start opening the questions so we can play ping pong
Yeah,
and answering questions. Okay, let me close this for a second, but I'm going to ask you one before anything. One
sure.
from Ashley that is, what is the tech squad recommended for a squad in the cohort?
Yes, good question. We recommend using React, and we keep it pretty open ended for kind of the other tools you want to use, since we are using the free tier of these tools, since it's a free program. But we recommend using React, and we use Netlify for deployments, and that's because we can offer more support for those kinds of things, since we have worked with those tools and are finding mentors who are familiar with those technologies. Oh, you're on mute.
I know when I muted, Tommy was sneezing, so I didn't want anyone to hear the sneezes. Anyway, I was going to say, I was saying that sometimes we're so surprised with technologies and the tech stacks that squads use themselves. Sometimes people that come in, they're more advanced than others in different areas. So if you know a different tool, tech stack that you're really good and that your squad can do it, feel free for it. But again, these are recommendations. We don't know. We don't know what people know. So I feel like that's the issue too.
Yeah, we try to recommend, like, in everything that we're doing, or trying to use tools that you'll commonly find at like places where you're building software, so that way you have that experience to like put on a resume, or you know how to interact with those tools that most people in the industry would be using.
I feel like that's really important to mention. So I feel like when you start thinking about what tools or one of the skills that I wanted to show, like go and take a look at job descriptions and
Yeah,
see what are
exactly.
those description asking for. And then you can talk into your tech squad. What kind of tools can you choose? Um, okay. Okay, I'm going to ask Ashley's asking another question. I feel like this is a great one for you. Do the projects in the I should ask it here. I forgot about this. Do the projects in the cohort tend to lean towards being front end centric, not focus on a dynamic data or data storage?
We definitely keep it open ended, but because of the timeline and the fact that we really want to emphasize what you can get out of this experience, or like one of the most valuable things you can get out of this experience is the learning how to work cross functionally. And that's like such a big part of what we're offering with um, the tech squads that can be hard to find elsewhere. Um, so because you're working with designers and product managers, and going through a process where you're not just starting with building, you're starting with discovery and iterating. We encourage squads to just start with a front end only app, because we find that it can let you just focus on like the more important things first, and we say like you can add the back end later. But there have definitely been squads who've just been really interested in building the back end and have done that too. And then there's some like the only other challenges we've seen with that are some of the pricing structures for the like hosting products that are available to host your backend, but it's always changing, so we always have to keep looking into it. So nothing's off limits. I mean, this is your when you're participating in Tray on Tech, like your tech squad is your group to build what you want to help each other. So we're really not trying to put restrictions on anyone. We're just here to say like this is how we can best support you and what experience we have and have seen work. So we really encourage people to focus on, I mean, even just trying to build a front end only app, I've seen really helps people. I think it helped me too, like learn how to distinguish, like, okay, well, when I'm talking to a designer and product manager and we're like, oh, let's build this feature, like I can't think of a good example. I don't know. it's we want a feature that does this. It's like you actually have to understand, well, what part of that requires a backend and which part of it doesn't, and how could we like build a minimum viable product for a version of that feature that doesn't require a backend. And that just going through that process can be really useful in learning and understanding, because so much of what you have to do when you're working cross functionally is like estimating and planning and being able to communicate with each other about, like the level of effort for things. So yeah, I can go on about that a lot, but I hope that answers your question.
Yes. Well, Ashley's saying, I'm interested in backend, but I would love to become more familiar with how UI and UX design work and flow over periods over a week. And again, I feel like it's really important what you were saying is like the first month and month and a half is going to be super intense until we have a problem state. We have all these ideas and we want to do all these big things. Do we have time for that? What is the most important of all these idea and features that we wanted to bring in? So again, if one of the main features involves backend and that's the main thing that your user is going to be looking for, you're welcome to do it. But again, is a lot of that decision making that happen a lot at work. Yes, is like, let's go and test it, let's see if it works, and let's bring it back. And it's just, again, 15 weeks when most of the people are going to be doing 7 to 10 hours a week added onto this is, again, limit time that you can do. When can you meet with your squad? When can you decide all of this? So yeah, I feel like I know, because this is what people struggle the most in the first month is like, what are we going to do? How we're going to do it? And you have to decide really quick, because then the time keeps moving and then you will have a lot of things that you need to like do to complete that week. So yeah.
Yeah. One thing I would just add is like I think the you'll have that opportunity for getting, like, even if you're an engineer or a dev, you're going to be participating in the like discovery process. And it's you don't always get a chance to do that early in your career, so it's really valuable to do that, because really no matter how big or small, like if you're starting an entire new product or you're just kind of starting a new feature for a product, those conversations look really similar in terms of how you're working with product and design. And so you'll get to experience that here and be a part of that. Yeah, such scope creep can be challenging. Yeah, and so much of what dev does in those conversations in the early stages of the project is assessing risk and giving context for the level of effort so that you can appropriately scope and prioritize things for a timeline. And that's like the tricky process, and it can be difficult to do early on, but I think the only way you get better at it is to just keep doing it. And this is a safe environment, so there's no failure. It's just a chance to like just exercise that muscle of like how do we actually make a plan for doing this, and then getting comfortable with that plan being wrong and updating it as you go, because that's what happens. And that's what the iteration will look like. But you still have to do the work of like, what's involved in making this happen? Like, what do we need to do first? What's the smallest version of doing this that can give us feedback? And yeah, all that stuff is so valuable no matter how big or small your project is.
Love that. Okay. Okay, I feel like we can go to the questions. Do you want to ask? I mean, I feel like I've
Yeah, I
been
have
asking
some
you all the
questions
questions.
for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, what is would you talk about the actual time commitment and like flexibility of the program?
So I feel like, again, we have, let's say, four main roles that we have. So we have product managers, designers, developers, and UX writers. You mentioned already, like that first 3 weeks is a lot about discovering workshops. So a lot of people is in this moment. I will say that developers in this first 3 weeks their time commitment is not as high. So at the beginning, it could be, I don't know, 3 to 5 weeks. And this is a mix of like global meetings, it's the squad meetings, or the role specific meetings that the squads are going to put together. I will say the contrary is going to be for designers, product managers, and UX writers, because they are doing a lot of the development of like putting their workshops together, doing their research, all of this. So their time commitment at the beginning is going to be higher, like 7 to 10 hours per week. And as I was mentioned, we're hoping that you get together, as a role specific, maybe the PM and the designers trying to discuss about how they're going to do the workshop and everything. This time commitment is going to be starts like changing a little bit as the sprints start, because that means that the developers are going to be more head down, uh, doing all the code, but based on the design. And I feel like at the end, is the end. Yeah. So you want to finish, you want to get to the timeline. So that means that that 7 to 10 hours per week is going to be for all the team, as you put the presentation together, as you practice the presentation, as the developers, and making sure that everything is right and ready to release. So how flexible it is, I feel like it's important to be transparent and open with your tech squad about how what is happening in your life. Do you have time? So a lot of good communication is going to be essential when you are in the tech squad. It's like, hey, I cannot make it to the tech squad meeting, but this is what I've been doing, this is what I've been working, this is the type of help. So again, communication is going to be a big one. A lot of us are going to be in different time zones, so how we are managing those time zones, a lot of async work. So again, the product managers, we're hoping that help us a lot into that communication and integration and follow up and accountability. But again, each of the participants, this is going to be a big one, yes. And these skills are going to be so essential for work. I feel like this is what I like about all of this. This is going to be happening at work. Yes, no one is going to be on top of you. Did you do this? When you did it? No, it's going to be a lot of you showing up. So I hope that it works, but that explains everything. But it's, yes, 7 to 10 hours per week.
Yeah, I might just add to that we are those that hour is like an estimate based on like just the curriculum for this 15 weeks and like the schedule. And but at the end of the day, you're not making something for us. What you're making is for your squad. And so the reason that we ask people to like be available for a certain amount of hours or to commit to a certain amount of hours is just so that you're moving together with your squad as much as possible. And so that way everybody is kind of able to work at a similar pace in terms of their availability. If you're at like a 9 to 5, maybe everybody's online, in this kind of block of hours. So it's a little bit like trickier than that because it's less hours, so there's more to schedule around. But we want it to be like enough of a commitment that you'll be able to meet up with each other or take time to be checking in asynchronously on Slack, whatever it is. And then after the 15 weeks, if your squad continues to work together, you can like adjust the schedule to work better for whatever pace you want to move at together after that. But we wanted to have some consistency throughout the program so that we can all be like moving together.
Okay. Do I need pure tech experience to apply, or can complete beginners join? Yes.
Good question. Yeah. So we're kind of, Cherry on Tech is kind of filling a gap between people who have maybe we're really best suited to help people who are like, I really want to start applying for jobs, but I don't have that much experience to put on my resume, or I've applied and people are like, you don't have enough experience. But we're not really set up to be like teaching people some of the foundational skills, like how to code, for example. But we're a place for you to like use the skills that you have and develop them. Um, so for people coming out of like a boot camp, or coming out of a degree, or who have like maybe self-taught for some time and are like, okay, I have some of the skills, but I haven't actually had a chance to apply them in a, in a group cross functionally and actually work with people in other roles. So we're really best suited for that. And then in addition, people who are, we're also have opened up our cohort to people who are more experienced and further along in their career, but want to have a support system outside of it and want to continue to level up and look even for opportunities to like connect with other underrepresented genders in tech and help other people develop their skills. So that's how I would describe it. Do you have anything to add, Juliet?
No, exactly. I feel like um, a lot of people is switching careers and they want to come into tech and they need more juicy hands-on experience in a cross-functional space. This is what we are giving you. But again, yeah, we are not teaching you to what is UX design and how you do it. We don't do that the same for PM. I feel like that's a little bit scary when you go into a cross-functional team if you have never done it. Yes, because it's a big shock. It's like we're doing a new project in a new team and we don't know what we're doing. That I love. I feel like that's one of the things that I enjoy the most when people are getting together, that discover part of how to talk to others, how to collaborate, because we have mentioned it already, this is a safe space and we want you to have those blockers and those fears and I don't know what to do in cherry and tech. So when you go to work, it's like, oh, okay, yes, I already did this, it was scary and I was able to do, and I have a support system. So I feel like I move into a different question, but yeah, I feel like if you're looking for experience in a cross-functional team with people that is going to support you, this is the place. I feel like Cherry and Tech and the cohort, the Launchpad cohort is good. We are not going to talk about like the Cherry Squad program today, but it's the after. So it's a little more low key, a little more in your own time kind of idea. So a little more relaxed. But yeah, the launch pad is like, let's go, let's finish this in 15 weeks. And it's intense. I won't deny it. I feel like that's something that we need to be clear from the beginning. This is going to be intense and it's going to require a lot of you, but you're going to get a lot out of 15 weeks by just doing it together. So, mhm.
Yeah. Okay, sorry, I have another question for you.
Yes, don't be
How
sorry.
are the how are squads and roles assigned? Do I get to pick or is it matched for me?
Oh my god, I feel like this is one of my favorite things to do when we have the cohorts. I feel like last cohort, Ali was saying, "Oh, we are going to automize this." I was like, "No, this is what I love the most." So everybody is going to go to registration. We ask you different questions. One of the questions will be about the squats uh, meeting time. So we have them on Sundays and we have them on Mondays. Our weeks starts on Sundays, so that's why we do it. You choose those as one. Can you make it to this time? Yes, you can make it to this time. That's one of the things that we ask. The other one will be the second part of the registration. We ask you for like how do you call it? Like an assignment, an accessibility assignment. So we are assessing how much interest you want to do these, like how curious, how you answering. We are not asked. We don't look into, my goodness, this person is perfect. They're answering all these perfect. We do not care about that. It's more about, are you taking the time to do the exercise? How interest are you doing this? So I feel like that's another one. And then we put them into squads. So as we mentioned before, we will have two PMs, two designers, three developers, and one UX writer. So based again in what you choose about the squad times and a mix, that's how we put it together. We try to do our best to do different levels of like experience, so we can have one developer that have a little more versus another ones that are a little more new, the same for the PMs and designers. So there is a balance of like experience and knowledge that can be transferable to everybody. I don't know what else. I have a lot of fun. It's so stressful sometimes. Like, oh my goodness. But yes, yes, yes.
Awesome.
Okay.
And I think
Yeah,
we
go
said
ahead.
too that you can, for the roles, you let us know, what role you're interested in. And a lot of times people are interested in multiple roles. And we say for the purposes of the cohort program to like commit to one, but throughout the program, you're absolutely welcome to engage in all parts of the process and work closely. Like if you're, say you're the PM, but you're really interested in design, you can work as closely with the designers on your squad as you want and volunteer to take on, some of that work too if you want to. We ask you to commit to one so that we can, have each of those roles represented on the squad and have the tasks shared. And then, but we say, like, after the program, if your squad continues, you can, explore a different role on your squad and you all can do another project, or you could start doing a different role on the same project if you all continue it. So it's flexible, but we ask you to commit to one, but feel definitely express the interest and explore it as much as you want to.
Mhm. I feel like for us, we have had cases then again, folks are coming in as like you, Ali. I feel like you came in as at the starting as a QA, and then you wanted to be PM, and then you want to be engineer. And I feel like that's the thing and the beauty of like having this flexible space of like a squad that you can talk to the rest of the members that, hey, I want to explore this, I want to develop these skills, what we can do. But they, again, this is for the cherry squad program and not the launch pad. Yeah, the launch pad, we want you to stick with what you pick so everybody is balanced and we have a squad that has all the pieces that we want so we can put a project at the end. I'm going to ask, Ashley is on fire. Will there be a conversation or interview process after registration where we discuss our skills?
So I definitely like to be clear that we are not interviewing people. We're not keeping people out of our community. The only constraint we have is that we have a limited number of resources since we're all volunteering our time. And that's why it's first come, first serve. So definitely, if you're interested, register early. And we our application process is designed, like Juliet was talking about. We have an accessibility activity there. Our application process is designed to like reflect the kind of like culture and engagement that we expect from you in the cohort program. So hopefully, like, if you are completing the application and engaging with it, then you're like you're like you're the kind of person that will be doing well in the cohort program. But we don't have any formal kind of like strict requirements that we're going to be like checking off or anything like that. But we want you to be successful in the program, meaning like it's a meaningful way for you to be spending your time. And we want it to be like good for your squad as well. So it's really like about your own ability to like reflect on what you need and let us know too.
Yeah, and I feel like that's so powerful when you think about like, and nowadays we know how the market, how hard it is, and like you're really interested to do this and you're volunteering your time and you print like this is really powerful. So for people to understand that when you're saying something like this is that you really care about your growth, you really care about your skills, you really care about the tech squad that you don't even know yet, but that you want to work together to build something together is really powerful. So I feel like for people to understand that that's big in itself. Yeah, just applying for something like this without no knowing is really cool. Yeah. So people who is here and is interested, that's a big step already. Like sitting out with us and asking questions. I feel like that's really cool. So I feel like for all of you that are listening, this is already, you're showing interest in your career, you're showing interest in your skills, and what you do in matters. So thank you so much for paying attention to us and caring about cherry and tech. Okay, okay, this is a good one. What happened if I fall behind or I can keep up with a sprint for a week or with the task? What happened?
Yeah, it's a good question. Like Juliet mentioned earlier, like we know everybody has lives going on, and that's really important to us that we're all respectful to each other and to each other's time and what we expect in situations when things come up, which they do, is to just communicate. Um, we expect you to communicate with your squad if you have limited availability some week, and again, what you're building is for you and your squad. So, there's nothing you're delivering for us. So, at the end of the day, if you move slower one week because you have less availability, and then that's fine. That happens in the real world. People go on vacation or they're sick or whatever, and you always have to like adjust to those things. So we expect your squad to adjust to your schedule just as much as like you would be adjusting to other people's. But just being sure to communicate that, and then if there's like a significant, amount of time that has changed for you versus when you like started, just let us know. And we've had, we'll make accommodations. Like we've had people whose time like dropped dramatically, but they still wanted to participate. So we can like carve out a different role. Like maybe you're not developing anymore, but you can still be like testing, and that's still a really valuable experience and a valuable thing you can be doing for your squad also. So we can find ways to work with you if your schedule does change, but we ask people to be thoughtful about when they're making the commitment, because it is like going to affect your squad and the experience of everyone in your squad.
Yes. Okay.
I have questions
Is
for you.
this okay? Yes, you go for it.
Okay. Can you talk about if this is a fully remote experience and what time zones we usually end up spanning?
Yes, we are fully remote. I feel like I we are doing our best now to keep the time zone closer to everybody. We are on Easter time, and again, Canada and US goes until the other side that it will be Pacific time. So I feel like that's usually kind of our range, like 3 hours difference. We have had in the past people in Asia, in Europe, if they can accommodate to the squad meetings and to the global meetings, that will work for us. But I feel like we really recommend to stay in that Eastern to Pacific time, because it would be just easier for everybody to accommodate the time. So it's 100% remote. I would say that most of the people in the last 2, 3 cohorts have been in US and Canada. I feel like that has to do a lot with our representation of like who exists already in Cherry and Tech. Yeah, I feel like that's yeah.
Yep, that sounds right to me. Another question for you. So, what exactly do participants walk away with at the end? Like a portfolio piece, a reference, or something else?
I would say the most important that I feel like we cannot put this in writing and we cannot be tangible is their experience. Your experience working in a cross-functional team, that's going to be the most powerful, and I feel like that's is going to help you a lot of with interviews to put in your resume and just to have the experience. I know how it is done. Yes, you finish with a portfolio piece, a case study, something that is in the real world working already that people can go and try. Um, a great people around you. I feel like I don't know who I was talking with, but they're still friends. There's people that have met in real life. I met one of the cherries, so one of the participants while I was in Colombia And I knew about her being in Colombia because one of the mentors that he was in Colombia. So again, that connection. I was talking with Gabs last week. She's like some of the mentees that I met through the cohort. We still talk. So I feel like the connection, the networking, the network that you have is intangible. Even though I know that a lot of people come from like that portfolio piece, you're getting more than that at the end of the day. The experience, yeah.
Yeah.
Ask, you get asked. Yes, you get asked. Yeah.
Yeah, I can share from my own experience with my tech squad. It wasn't through like the Launchpad program, but through my squad, I met someone on my squad they were working for a company, and that company had an opening, and so then I was able to apply, and she could refer me, and I was able to get a job there. So that was something really valuable that I got out of working with my tech squad. And there was something else I was going to add. I don't remember now. Yes. Oh yeah. I was just going to emphasize that like our goal for the end of the 15 weeks is that your squad has like a live website that someone can go to, and it looks like it's fully functional in whatever features that it has currently. So we really emphasize like learning how to build iteratively. So it's not a live site that has a bunch of buttons that don't go anywhere, but it's
Mhm.
thoughtful, and it doesn't have to like do 100 things. It can just do one thing really well. Um, and that learning how to like do that with a group of people, like be able to adjust and say like, okay, well, we're not going to finish this feature on time, so we need to like adjust the design around that so that it still is like a functioning site that is understandable and usable by people, even if it doesn't have all of the features. um, that's something super important to me, is that like at the end you'll have this live website, so it's not just a screenshot of something you did, it's a URL you can send to people and say like, you can go look at this site I built. And that's so powerful for like product managers and designers who don't usually get to actually have that like live website built. And then it's so valuable for developers to have like a site they built that looks good. At least for me, I'm not going to build a site that looks very good as an engineer because I don't have that skill. So working with designers like lets me be like, oh, I built something that actually looks good. I want you to go look at it.
Love it. And I was going to, I mean, you mentioned a point about like you getting a referral to another cherry. And I feel like is you're showing yourself so much in the work that you're doing. So I feel like that's so important. You never know who are you working with, who is seeing your work. So um I mean, this is going to happen the same at work. So, like having that experience of presenting your work, working with others, learning from others, is going to be so powerful. Again, this is untangible things that you're going to get to a space like this. This is what I find the most powerful at the end of the day. Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I had another thought because I just love talking about this, which is, beyond like, let's say you do have like a pretty portfolio you can include it in, or beyond like having a resume line item, it's like having the actual experience to talk about. I feel like is so awesome because when you can say, um, well, when I was working on this feature with my designer, I had to have conversations about the trade-offs of this, or I had to explain how this technology worked, and like just all these things that you don't even experiences you don't even really get to do when you're building something on your own, or if you're building something with just other people in your role. And it's like those actual conversations, even for something like small, even just being like, I had to work with other with a product manager to just like prioritize something like that's you're going to be like able to talk about that experience. And that's what I think companies are looking for a lot of the time when they're interviewing, is to like hear that like you kind of generally get what's going on
Mhm.
when they talk to you, and that you have like some like ideas about it, and that's just from like actually having done it, whether it's like an internship or a program like this that's free and that is like more accessible to everyone.
I mean, we are almost at time, but I wanted to add something in here is like, I feel like sometimes when I talk to mentees and they're looking for a job and I ask them, hey, what are you doing? Yes, to find this job. And they're going to say, oh, I'm networking, I'm applying for jobs, I'm going to events. And I'm like, okay, what else? And then they stop there. Yes, it's like everybody is already taking more courses, learning more, networking, applying for resumes, connecting with HR or like, but are you working on your skills? Are you working into creating something? Are you building something? I feel like that's going to be so powerful. And something that we say is you don't have to do this through Cherry on Tech. You don't have to do this to the launch pad. You can just do it with anyone. Just put a Slack message in different communities. Say, hey, I want to build something together. That works for us. I feel like we just give you the opportunity to help you to build the squad and give you the whole program and having us and having mentors. But you can do this at any point, at any time. This is how we started. Yes, we just say, hey, let's build something together. That's how pretty much Cherry and Tech started. Not with a program. We just got together and started building things because we knew that we needed the skills to our next career, our next job. But I love when people, or yeah, say I'm doing something, I'm building something together in a team. That take courage of just putting yourself out and working with people that you don't know, and it's really scary. So we have a couple more questions before we go. Uh, uh, um, is there a cost at all now or later, or is this free start to finish?
Yes, Cherry Tech is totally free. It's something essential to our mission and vision. Um,
Oh, no, we lost Ali. But yes, this is totally free. This happened to me last week. was I was saying that this happened to me last week, and
oh,
Gabs was in like such an intense
oh
conversation.
no.
Anyway, she came back at the same like in a second.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, just that. Okay, wait, where was I? I'm thinking now. Oh yeah, so it's
Yeah,
free.
the
It's
cost is free.
free. Yes, because um we we just absolutely believe this is not something that should be like gated in any way. Like Juliet was saying, anyone can do this. You can go find a designer or a product manager and dev, and you can start working together. And we just want to make that easier for people and say, hey, we can help you get those people together, and we can be a community of people all doing that together. And we can help you find mentors and all that stuff. So it's something that we think that is been so helpful for our careers, just to have that support system and have community. When usually I go to a job and I'm just like the only woman on my team, and um, yeah, there's no reason you should have to pay for that. It's something that we believe should always be free.
I will answer the last question. That is, what is the mentor actual role and their hands of building with us or more advisory? So for us, I feel like the mentors are more like an advisory space. What I like that the mentors has like real experience in the world. So they can tell you like, hey, this have happened before. This is what I did. This is how I will do it. So a lot of that like representation in the tech space as an underrepresented gender, and a lot of knowledge of what hundred of projects they have worked in that different spaces. So I feel like that's the most powerful. Maybe it's not even the advice that they're going to give you in the project, but just knowing someone in the industry, um, just talking about that with them about you, what you want. So I feel like that's the most powerful, just having representation, seeing that it's possible, what had happened with them, how they did it, and yeah, they're going to help you to answer questions and find a better solution. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
think
cool.
it's so powerful to like all of our mentors are going to be people working in the role that you're doing and that are like currently working professionally and have been in their career for like at least a year or so or more. Um, and I think it's so helpful just to have somebody that you can talk to like that because when I started my career, I don't think I knew any other like women software developers that were already working. Like, I just don't think I had any connections like that. And it would have been really awesome to be able to just be like, what is work like? And ask some of the questions like I'd feel maybe less comfortable to ask somebody that I have no relationship with at all. So our mentors are all just awesome. And
Yes, yes,
we're
yes.
always so grateful to have mentors and yeah, they're just like a really valuable part of the community and something that we're so glad that we can offer to people participating in this program.
I feel like that's all for us. It's 7 p.m. Eastern time, maybe a different time wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you so much for the questions. Thank you for so much for your interest in being of our next cohort. Um, Again, screenshot, not a screenshot, take a picture and we'll take you to the registration form. We will be closing for participants on Friday, August the 4th. I think so. The 7th. Yes, the 7th. That's all. That's all for me. Ali, nice. Thank you so much for sharing with me this space as always.
Yes, thanks, Juliet, and thanks to everybody listening. And we hope that we'll get to meet you soon.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.